You're leaving money on the table every single time you open ChatGPT, not because the tool is broken, because you're talking to it like it's a search engine, and it's actually something closer to a contractor, and you keep forgetting to give them the blueprint. Welcome back to Venture Void. If you're building something alone, automating your income, or trying to squeeze every dollar of output from every hour you put in, you're in the right place. Today we're going into something that almost nobody in the solo founder space is talking about with the seriousness it deserves. It's called context engineering, and once you understand it, you will never interact with an AI tool the same way again. Let me paint you a picture. Two founders, both using Claude, both paying the same $20 a month. One of them is generating sales emails that convert at 4%. The other is generating sales emails that convert at less than 0.5%, same tool, wildly different results. The difference isn't the prompt, the difference is the context loaded before the prompt. One founder is handing their AI contractor a complete creative brief with audience research, brand voice guidelines, 3 competitor examples, the specific pain point hierarchy of their customer, and the desired emotional arc of the email. The other is typing, "Write me a sales email for my SaaS." Context engineering is the discipline of deliberately designing the information environment your AI model operates in before it ever generates a single word. It is not about clever one-liners. It's not about adding "act as an expert" to your prompt. It is architectural, it is intentional, and it is the single highest leverage skill a solo founder can develop right now. Here's why this matters at a mechanical level. Large language models don't think in isolation. They predict outputs based on everything in their context window. The full body of text and instructions they can see at the moment of generation. Most models today have context windows ranging from 32,000 tokens to over 200,000 tokens. That is roughly 25,000 to 150,000 words of information you could be feeding a model before you ask it a single question. Most people use maybe 50 words. That's like hiring a consultant, handing them half a sticky note, and expecting a 90-day growth strategy. So what does good context engineering actually look like in practice? There are 5 layers, and you need all 5 working together. Layer 1 is identity. You define exactly who and what the AI is in this specific task. Not, you are a helpful assistant. That's useless. Instead, you are a direct response copywriter with 12 years of experience writing for B2B SaaS companies, selling to operations managers at companies with 10 to 50 employees. You write in a style that is direct, minimally punctuated, and conversationally authoritative. You never use exclamation points. You treat the reader as intelligent but busy. That single paragraph transforms the baseline behavior of the model before you've asked it to do anything. Layer 2 is business context. Feed it your actual business DNA, your revenue model, your price points, the stage you're at, your conversion bottleneck. A solo founder selling a $297 digital course to freelance designers needs completely different outputs than someone selling a $3,000 per month done-for-you service to e-commerce brands. These are not the same voice. They are not the same argument structure. They are not the same emotional lever. If you don't tell the model which world it's operating in, it defaults to a statistical average of everything it's ever seen, which produces content that sounds like everybody and converts like nobody. Layer 3 is audience intelligence. This is where most founders don't go deep enough. Don't just say, "My audience is small business owners." Give the model a customer persona document, specific demographics, psychographics, the exact language your customers use in reviews or support tickets, their primary objection before purchase, their secondary fear after purchase, what they read, what they watch, what they were burned by before they found you. The more specific and real your audience intelligence, the more your AI output reads like it was written by someone who spent 6 months embedded in your market, because functionally, it was. Layer 4 is examples and anti-examples. This one is brutally underused. Show the model 3 emails you've written that performed well. Show it 2 pieces of copy you hate. Tell it why you hate them. This email worked because it opened with a concrete failure scenario before offering any solution. This email failed because it front-loaded features instead of outcomes. Now the model has calibrated taste. It has directional feedback baked directly into its generation process. This is the equivalent of a creative director giving a junior copywriter a swipe file and a red-marked failure, except you can do it in 90 seconds. Layer 5 is the operational constraint set. Be explicit about format, length, what the output must include, what it must never include, what metric it's optimizing for, and what the downstream use case is. This email will be the first touchpoint in a cold outreach sequence. The only goal is a reply, not a sale, not a click, a reply. It should be under 120 words. It should end with a single low-friction question. It should never mention pricing. It should never use the word solution. When you define constraints this tightly, you stop getting outputs you have to rewrite and start getting outputs you can deploy. Now let me talk about what this replaces, because the financial argument here is significant. The average freelance copywriter for B2B email sequences charges between $150 and $500 per email. A 6-part cold outreach sequence runs you anywhere from $900 to $3,000. A brand voice guide from a positioning consultant is $2,000 to $5,000. A customer persona research document from a market research firm could be $5,000 to $15,000. Context engineering lets one solo founder, with one $20 subscription, compress all of that intellectual infrastructure into a reusable system document they build once and deploy indefinitely. The compounding economics here are extraordinary. You build the context architecture once. Every task you run through, it gets better outputs than your competitor who is starting from scratch every single time. And this scales horizontally. You don't build one context document, you build a library. A context document for writing LinkedIn content, one for customer support responses, one for generating ad creative, one for internal SOPs, one for investor emails. Each document is a specialized contractor you can summon in seconds. Most successful solo founders running lean operations are managing anywhere from 8 to 15 of these context documents, and they'll tell you it represents the equivalent of a part-time creative director, a copywriter, a customer success rep, and a strategist, without the payroll. Now, the catch. And there is always a catch. Context engineering takes real work up front. Building a genuinely useful context document, one that actually produces deployment-ready outputs, takes 3 to 5 hours the first time. You have to audit your brand voice. You have to synthesize your customer research. You have to collect examples and articulate why they worked. You have to define constraints you've probably never thought to write down. This is not a shortcut. It is a front-loaded investment that pays off every single time you use it afterward. The founders who fail at this are the ones who try to half-build the context and then get frustrated when the outputs are mediocre. You get out what you put in. The architecture has to be real. There's also a maintenance layer. As your business evolves, your context documents need to evolve. A pricing change, a new positioning angle, a shift in your target persona, these need to be updated in your context library, or your AI outputs will quietly drift out of alignment with your actual business. Set a quarterly review on your context documents. Treat them like living assets, not set and forget files. The founders building quietly sustainable businesses in 2025 are not the ones with the most sophisticated AI tools. They're the ones who have built the most intentional input systems. Context engineering is that system. It is the difference between using AI as a calculator and using it as a compounding infrastructure layer inside your business. One generates outputs, the other generates leverage. If this gave you a real edge, subscribe to Venture Void. We don't do surface level takes here. Every video is built to give solo founders and small operators a concrete advantage, the kind that doesn't disappear when everyone else catches up. Hit the bell, come back next week, we're just getting started.